What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to r/AskReddit with my terrible artwork, where today, we all might as well be in an unaired episode of The Office. Alright, so the AskReddit question was, do bosses like Michael Scott actually exist? And if you worked for one, what's your craziest story? My first boss in America. I was 21, he was Asian American, and I had never seen The Office, but noted the absurdity. He would get free potato chips from a guy in a company truck and would stuff his cheeks in the middle of telling me what to do. Yet he always offered me some. Fired a coworker for screaming some racist stuff at me by just yanking her out the door. Called another coworker a cub or a baby lion because she was tiny with wild, unruly hair. He'd even do a small mini roar whenever she was about to report for her shift or when I mentioned her name. Ran around the place with a wig on his head imitating me. Brought his daughter to work and gave her piggyback rides in the office. He'd even ask me to take videos. Would ask me to teach him random Arabic words so he could yell them sporadically in the middle of the day. He always got the accent right. Started a small chicken farm in the back of the building and would give out whole chickens to the staff. Had me and a coworker try to slaughter one time. I couldn't and nicked it just a little bit and shrieked, spraying all three of us with blood. Received a visit from the city people to tell him he couldn't keep chickens in back. He was rounding the main floor with a small basket of freshly laid eggs just as they were asking for him. Did the chicken farm again the next summer, this time with a small garden growing squash, cucumbers, corn, etc. to disguise the chicken coop. Happily gave out vegetables along with chicken. Would be extremely proud of taking home a tray of his own eggs to his children. Ate 2 fresh eggs every morning. Brought a wok to work to deep fry sausages in. Sometimes made lunch in the back. The entire floor would smell like food, and he would round up all 3 of us to his office to eat. Would regularly fall asleep under his desk. The snoring was so loud you could hear it in the front. Once, a client asked what that noise was, and I said it was the plumbing. Woke up after his naps looking puffy, but acting as if nothing had happened. Would immediately go next door for a cherry coke. Would constantly eat hard candy to stay awake during the day. Ate too many edibles at a party I hosted once and passed out. Told me to hire someone, but when he saw the girl, did a comical thing with his face, eyebrows raised and eyes big, because she was having trouble fitting into her chair. She was a bit bigger of a girl. He took away chairs the next day because they encouraged us not to concentrate on the client. The girl was a no-call, no-show the following week. Had a love-hate relationship with a groundhog not long into his farming venture. He never caught the guy. Once threw a cricket at me from the very opposite end of the office floor. He and another coworker kept such straight faces as I finally convinced myself the cricket flung itself at me. I watched the cameras at the end of the day only to see them do it. I'm still traumatized. Has an office to this day full of the weirdest collection of things. A few feathers from favorite chickens of his that he's since consumed, all named and dated. A rabbit paw someone gave to him, a goat's hoof, a framed quote I told him told to me by a very high homeless person. I don't remember the rest, it's just an odd place to go into. Had a hard time growing a beard and would ask me what I thought of the progress of his soup taster. Nicest boss I've ever had. Well-meaning, if a little racially insensitive, all while being fascinated by other people's cultures. He would buy different cuisines for us to try each week, gave bonuses because he knew the job didn't pay much, so that was always a nice surprise. And he even paid my former coworker when she had to stay home all through her husband's COVID. Also, he loves llamas, alpacas, baby goats, and when I showed him how to use Reddit, he would almost always send me an alpaca photo. I still get a photo now and then. Also, 3 years after leaving, he still sends me photos of his illegal farm and recently asked me to post his cucumbers on Reddit. Edit, thank you for the gold, guys. I'm glad you found my boss as amusing as I did. Also, I forgot to add that he fell into a poison ivy bush once and didn't know it right away. He ran around screaming until we sat him in his office semi-undressed and put medicine on his wounds. He was so miserable for days. It was hard to watch. Another time, he dove headfirst into a wall when asleep once and needed to go to the doctor and get 3 stitches on his busted lip. He came to work that morning with a huge lip and kept having to explain himself all day. We kept joking his wife was beating him up. He still insisted on snacking as usual, at one point even resorting to sipping ketchup with a straw. Oh my gosh. What kind of a crazy boss is this? What kind of a crazy workplace is this? Frick. And just so everyone knows, this is all from one post. This is all from one guy. My goodness. I mean, seriously. And don't get me wrong, he sounds like an awesome boss, although, like you said, maybe a little insensitive at times, but that's just nuts, dude. But the funny thing is, I can see Michael Scott doing so many of these things, especially with the poison ivy. The first thing that came to my mind was the episode where he burns his foot on the George Foreman, and like he ends up taking Dwight to the hospital because, you know, Dwight crashed his car coming to save Michael, and he's got a concussion. And as they're trying to give Dwight the MRI, Michael tries to slip his foot in as well to get it looked at, and it's just like, you barely burned your foot because you fell asleep cooking bacon. Oh my gosh. Although, okay, other random ADD thing here that the poison ivy thing reminded me of. So I have a friend that was out with a buddy of his once, and they were doing this hike up to the top of like some hill nearby or whatever for, you know, just kicks and giggles and seeing the view. And he needed to go to the bathroom really, really bad. And so, you know, he prepared ahead of time. He brought a trowel and whatnot, but he forgot toilet paper. And so he's like, okay, I'll just use some leaves. And I think you can all see where this is headed. He told me about it, and he was like, I was rubbing myself along the carpet like a dog, trying to scratch that itch. He ended up having to get a colonoscopy, and oh, so many stories about that kid. He's the same one who tried to blue dart and had the flame go back up inside of him, and I still have that one on video, and oh my gosh. Oh, memories. Sorry, I'm wildly ADD as most of you guys know, so yeah. That was r/AskReddit, and if you want a playlist of more stories with funny office hijinks, then go ahead and click the link right here. Or if you want to see more funny, badly drawn Reddit, go ahead and click the link right here. Now you guys stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, stay beautiful, people.